Okay, so look, this topic isn't worth talking about over on Unirock 2, but it definitely needs to be hit because these guys are trying to bring their dead LARP back to life. And I know, I get a lot of requests to do this, so let's go. They're trying, so let's stop them. So, what am I talking about? Well, for those of you that don't know, Glow 2, who I talk about a lot, has been putting up some clips. It's been detailing this really strange thing that's going on now that these guys are starting to break down over the last year. Ever since I did a video called The Red Pill Shot that exposed that there is a network out there. Joelbot had talked about it. Joelbot had predicted it. Joelbot had accused them straight out. And that network was exposed when a group of YouTubers, Lift the Veil, Titus Frost, DNAJLION, Timothy Holmseth, Robert David Steele, DeFango, they all turned out to have a lawyer. I did a documentary about it. The Red Pill to Pay the Bills documentary. Well, it turns out that there's a few kind of powerful players involved, right? With links all the way up the chain of political players on Periscope and the internet. If you really want to get updated, you'd have to see the documentary that I did. So what are they doing now, though? After the Red Pill shot, it echoed out through the internet and just massively changed the way that certain people looked at these YouTubers. They kind of lost their effectiveness. Once people realized that there is a political agency behind it, they didn't let the propaganda sink in. And after months and months and months going out, the new things that they've been trying to push has kind of died out, right? Like we saw with LTV continually pushing more fakeness, more fake stories, trying to call other stories that are just already confirmed, like the limo crash, real. Anyway, the Red Pill shot was very effective. They struck it down. It's not on YouTube, but the documentary is. So at least there's something happening. Now, we're going into what I've always dubbed the month of the LARP. If you don't know what that is, around October and November every year, these guys amp up toward that with all these different stories that they put the feelers out on, and they test what sticks, these fake things. Like right now, DNAJLION, Abel Danger, Timothy Holmseth are all trying to say that Mike Pence is, well, worse than anything they've ever accused in Pizzagate or anything else. That he's not just running an operation in some type of cult hurting kids, but that the number's all the way up to 180. You'd have to hear it to believe it. These are the feelers that they're putting out. They're trying to see how it sticks in their audience. Now, the audience has really started to wake up to an extent, and they're pushing back. They don't buy it. They don't believe it, and it's starting to turn huge chunks of their membership away, which I'm very happy about, honestly. I didn't expect that. Timothy Holmseth, though, is where we should start. So Timothy is, if you don't know who he is, I should pull up a few web pages and show you. But really, you know, it's easy to find him. I'll go into it here right now. Let me find the video. Timothy Holmseth, why the court is illegal. So he's a guy who's been on YouTube for a while. He actually put out an accusation against Mike Pence a while back. And the network that pushes him helped him get it out there and get it viral. Oh, I forgot to mention one other thing that YouTube has done to kind of combat these guys is when you search for their names, they don't put their videos up anymore. So if you search for, like, Lift the Veil, you don't see his videos. You may see his channel, but you don't see his videos because he's shadow banned in the algorithm. Now, even though he's very upset about that, and I truly don't think that should happen to them, you could kind of see why YouTube has taken that stance. All the fake stories that they push out has a very devastating effect towards people, and because of that, YouTube gave him chance after chance after strike after strike after warning, and finally stepped up to the plate, shadow banned Jordan Sather, shadow banned Lift the Veil, and shadow banned some of the other ones that are more harsh with their propaganda. People like Timothy Holmseth lost his channel altogether. He's a guy that came out in full support of QAnon because he was told to, right? The lawyer that he had that connects him to other people that pushed QAnon shows that the upper echelon behind that, you know, the same people like Mike Cernovich and Jack Pacific all in the background pushed this. And I could go into another huge thing I've realized. I won't do that right here, though. Anyway, Timothy Holmseth is a big Q pusher who likes to stalk lawyers and women. And when he gets in trouble for it, he runs from the state. He put out a book detailing what happened to a little girl named Madeline McCann. She disappeared like Casey Anthony's daughter, Kaylee Anthony, right? Both of them disappeared. He actually covered those stories. He has a propensity, like DNAJLION, to almost feel like he's almost look like he gets some kind of pleasure out of putting the pictures of these kids that after these horrible crimes have been committed to them on his website. I'm trying to watch out because I know I'm on YouTube, trying to say it the best way I can in this censored state. But not only that, he wrote a book about several of the little girls that disappeared and tried to take credit as someone who was finding out the truth. He blamed it on some powerful Democrats and blamed it on some court officers trying to assist in it to cover it up. He ended up getting restraining orders. He's got a really long criminal record, and he got some restraining orders put against him for stalking. And in those restraining orders, he was told that he could not write on the internet anything about these people. He didn't listen. And because of a very long continued battle in court that he's had, he was supposed to show up for court. Let's see, I can probably pull the date right here. It was August 26th. In fact, here's Casey Joe at the Kangaroo Court waiting for Timothy Holmseth to show up. At their surprise, when Timothy doesn't show up, do they get angry with him? Do they call him out? Do they call him a coward like everybody else did? Do they put him down? Do they tell him that he's wrong for running and that he should have stood and faced it? No, they say that all of a sudden the court is now corrupt. The judge is corrupt. Take a look.
Hi guys. Well, we love the hat too. It's been quite the journey here.
We had Daniel Lee.
We had Daniel Lee.
We had everybody on from
all
everybody,
over.
everyone, and you guys are part of it too.
Yeah, you guys are part of it too. So wait a minute. Let's just sit here and talk to these guys. Get in here with me.
Okay.
Come on.
Doesn't it kind of look... Don't they look and sound like kids in a way? Maybe they are. Maybe they've got something wrong mentally, and that's why they act like this, right? They're not taking this as seriously as you think they would.
Get in here with me. Come on. So what happened was when we went into the courtroom, the first thing that the judge is seated, right? Mm-hmm. The judge was seated because she knew we weren't going to stand for her. She knew that none of us would stand for her. And Timothy didn't show up at 8.
You didn't stand for the judge, but you went to the court. Well, you're going to be a little shocked at what they start pushing in a second, but let's let her finish.
30. He didn't show up. He didn't show up at 9 o'clock because this is a fraudulent bullshit court. And
so basically, one thing that I've said about all these people who are all connected together and push each other's content is just this, that they are anti-American. They're anti the court system. They're not conservative like they say they are. They don't respect the Constitution. They don't respect the rights of others. That's why they are quick to guilty until proven innocent anyone they disagree with. Anyway, they decided to take the stance of a sovereign citizen because of this. Like she said, because Timothy didn't show up, now it's the court's fault, the judge's fault.
We're not going to put up with it anymore. So they issued him a bench warrant. It was
a bodily for a body.
A bodily warrant to arrest.
You really don't know what a bench warrant is, lady, right? You need to really get back on your meds here. The bodily. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, that's what a bench warrant means. He doesn't show up for court and he gets a warrant.
Arrest him, right? Right?
It was to bring him in for trial that day.
So here, talk.
So the courtroom was really small, so not everybody could be in there.
Oh yeah, so that's why, right? Okay. Now, back up to here, Timothy decided that he would go to Facebook and actually tell you what's up. This is where their whole thing starts breaching to the sovereign citizen area, which is great. Some of you are going to say, what do you mean it's great? It's great that they do this. their audience isn't going to take this. The people that back them monetarily, they're not going to be okay. The larger percentage of them are going to really turn away from these guys when they go to sovereign citizen. Now, this is a common tactic with sovereign citizen type people, that when they aren't sovereign citizen, they never talk sovereign citizen until they have to go to court, and they don't go. Then they become sovereign citizen all of a sudden. It becomes, you know, I don't respect the court. The court doesn't have authority over me. The court doesn't have jurisdiction. You could find an entire twisted grouping of videos on social media that have to do with sovereign citizenship. Basically, I'm going to be in the United States, but the laws don't apply to me. And if I have to go to court for something I've done to somebody else to violate their rights, I'm just going to run and hide, make excuses, and say that the court is corrupt for doing this to me. And that's exactly what he did.
All of a sudden, all right, is considered concerning the upcoming hearings and trial or whatever they have scheduled for me at the Polk County Justice Center on August 26th, starting at 8:30 a.m. That's in Crookston, Minnesota, at the Polk County Justice Center. And don't mistake the Justice Center for the courthouse, because they do have a courthouse in Crookston,
What in the hell does that matter?
Minnesota, but
Get
that's
to
not
the
where these
point.
things take place. They call that the old courthouse now. They've actually created a place called the Polk County Justice Center. There's a reason they do that too, because it's a private corporation.
Well, that's strange, because in the sovereign citizen mythology, that's exactly what they start doing, talking about how all court systems are actually private corporations and they don't have to obey them because of it. And then they go in, cherry pick certain laws and try to make an argument. It never works. It never works in court. Courts are prepared for this. They know that, they understand that this is a tactic some people are going to use, and it only gets you in more trouble.
It's all private. People don't really know that. It's a private prison, private everything, and they're all becoming millionaires over it.
They're all becoming millionaires, so that's right. The judge is becoming a millionaire all of a sudden. The employees at the court are becoming millionaires all of a sudden. That's what's happening here.
All right. The first thing I want to address is I've received word from sources.
Let's go ahead and put him on a little bit faster playback speed, because he'll takes forever to say anything but never says nothing at all.
Inside the Polk County Justice Center, that there's rumblings there that I guess it would be the Polk County Sheriff's Office, I guess, is preparing for busloads of violent protesters.
They would only be preparing for that if they received threats. I wouldn't doubt if they had. So who is this guy, and why is he being pushed so hard? Well, I could tell you right now, he has the same lawyer as a few other YouTubers. Ironically, though, all those YouTubers claim that it means nothing that they have the same lawyer. They all say they don't have to pay this lawyer. They say that it doesn't mean that there's a company behind the lawyer really paying the lawyer, that the lawyer just works for free, and that all of them being in different states and supposedly independent YouTubers, the fact that they're all represented by the same lawyer means nothing. Ironically, everybody who is affiliated with this lawyer, from what's his name, Cernovich, Pasibic, to all the YouTubers who use the lawyer, push the same anti-American rhetoric that you're hearing out of Timothy Holmseth's mouth. You could call me crazy, but I would say that this is where the rhetoric is coming from, right? They take the certain politicians that they need propaganda to be put out toward. They pay these guys and provide them with a lawyer and provide them with whatever benefit they get to push that political agenda out. They're just propaganda agents, and it makes sense. All of them appeared right around 2016 at the dawn of the election. It's when they all started to get their go on social media. Every normal person who hears them talk says, why do people subscribe to these guys? How do they get subscribers out there when they're not accurate? They don't provide proof for what they're saying. They make everything up as they go. You'd think not many people would subscribe to them and would go out and find real news sources. But if you just do a little digging into the connections between them and the companies or the organizations, the social media accounts that push them, you can see that the reason why they all have a propensity to gain views and clicks on YouTube is due to this company behind the scenes. And for them to not stand up and tell you that they're affiliated with these companies, there is a reason for that. They don't want you to know. They want you to be under the impression, they never want to address it specifically, but they want you to be under the impression that they're not all connected, that they all don't push the same rhetoric, that they barely talk to each other, independent YouTubers. Then you have your mind more ill-prepared to handle the lies that they push. Let's say you go to the internet and search for Mike Pence. You find this guy, you find, I don't know, LTV and DNAJLION and these other people, all really a different brand of anti-Pence rhetoric, some more extreme, some less extreme. Maybe you're going to look at it and say, you know, there's all these different YouTubers that are seemingly unconnected saying the same thing. I kind of feel like Pence might be the bad guy. I'm not saying Pence is a good guy, by the way. I don't know anything about Pence, and I don't give two shits about him. He's just a politician. But I know this. There's a reason. Now, what reason do I think it is that all of them are starting off into the, as I call, month of the LARP, right? What I mean is, as time gets closer to October and November, most likely something will happen on a back anonymous message board. These guys will act like it's real. They'll all push it, even though they pretend like they're not connected, right? What is the thing that connects them together? Seems like it's Field McConnell. Field McConnell has a hand in all these channels, and he hates Pence. He hates Pence for something that happened. DNAJLION described it today. But basically, Pence had to do with something with McConnell losing his job or losing his position. So it could just be he's butthurt. He's angry at the guy. They even make up things about how Pence is being kicked out of the presidency. They even said that Pence was plotting to assassinate the president today. No joke. They will go as far as they need to go in order to push the thought process from the people that pay them. Luckily, as things have been broken down since we started to expose them, they're more obvious with everything, right? If you could find out that Field McConnell had something against Pence, Field McConnell is working with Able Danger and these other guys to put out, Disabled Danger and all these other guys to put out this stuff, it kind of makes sense now that if the money's coming from him, he would add in the anti-Pence rhetoric for whatever personal reason he has. Anyway, I'll let this idiot talk for a while, and then I'll tell you about who he really is and how you can confirm it.
They're going to be at my trial. Busloads of violent protesters. That's what I was told is being said inside the Justice Center. It's like during these little court hearings, fake court hearings. Why do you think you need 3 or 4 armed deputies who not only are they armed with a firearm, they're armed with tasers and tear gas? And I think.
So you're telling me having deputies at the court is a bad thing and it shouldn't happen, right? You're like mad about that for some reason? Why aren't you happy about that? Really makes no sense. You wouldn't care if a bunch of armed people arrested Mike Pence right now or Hillary Clinton. You'd say they should take 20 armed people because Hill's going to pay for a bunch of thugs to protect her or some crazy stuff. But when it comes to you having to go to court, they can't have their guards there and arm them? I thought you were pro-guns. I thought you were pro-Second Amendment. So now you're not? Well, actually, he can't carry a firearm. He is prohibited by law from carrying a firearm due to many, many felonies that he has.
They have bulletproof vests on, too. So, I mean, you're making a fool out of yourself, Mr. Tadman. By the way, you dress those goons up, which, by the way, everybody, the Polk County Sheriff's Office is supplying personal protection for these corrupt judges.
Now he's going to claim that the judges are corrupt and that the guards at the courthouse are corrupt judges, therefore the county is paying. Where does the money come from? Just that Hill was corrupt, sovereign citizen.
And so that's where your taxpayer money is going. And at several of my cases,
YouTube channel, and also has
kids in costumes. You know,
what does that make you? What are you? Right? Have you bothered to look in the mirror? Are you a veteran? No. Are you a violent criminal? Proven, yes, you are. Are you charged for stalking, cyber crimes? Yes. Are there multiple women that have lifetime restraining orders against you? Yes. I wonder if those thugs have any of those legal problems, and maybe that's why they get to carry a firearm, because they don't.
Trying to be heroes or whatever they're doing. Mr. Pendergrass didn't pose any threat to him at all. And actually,
so you don't believe that in today's society that the court system should have police officers, deputies, and sheriffs there to guard the court? You don't believe that today? You really are out of touch, aren't you? Or are you just trying to woo everything to be personal towards you?
people will soon be learning, is that under the law, that's actually called that's assault with a deadly weapon.
So this is how you know this guy is straight up crazy. For one, he's trying to argue that a judge at the courtroom having police officers and armed officers there is assault with a deadly weapon against him and against the people there. He's making this argument. That should be not your first clue, but like your 50th clue that the guy is completely out of touch and not worth defending. I just want to make sure you've got that point. And the reason I want you to have that point is because Able Danger is defending him. Disabled Danger, sorry. DNAJLION7 is defending him. Well, because DNAJLION7 also is a violent, proven criminal. He has a lot of restraining orders also, many domestic violence charges, and the same type of legal issues as Timothy Holmseth. Strange, right? You got Disabled Danger. Trump and Melania are protecting Timothy Holmseth. Literally out of his own mouth, trying to convince an audience that the president and the first lady are defending this man that you just heard say these things. Who else do we have? Tracy Joe Remington, who happens to be the woman who accused her husband of being an employee of the Clinton Foundation and taking pictures of kids for them, promising to put out evidence for 6 months, building up a YouTube following, and then completely ignored it without putting out any evidence and just moved on to other topics afterwards while having mental breakdowns in every other stream, if not every stream. Well, here's Kurt Pendergrass. Haven't had a chance to really look into him, but I would go as far as to say you'll probably find the same things. Field McConnell, Holmseth defies illegal court, Pence stripped of authority. See how they're mixing in all these different things that they aim to get your attention, and they mix in they take digs at the politicians they want to take digs at, try to turn more people that follow them into the same type of criminals that they are with their mentality, and try to basically get money from you at the same time, right? Is Timothy Holmseth on the run? Another Timothy. So basically, if you listen to any of these guys talk, this is what you get. All of them are doing the same thing here with this. And it all goes back today to this video from DNAJLion. Oh my God, I guess he's also saying that Hurricane Dorian is a psyop, and that evidence from the Bermudas says it's real, September 1st, 2019. Well, I want you to hear this. Laughable evidence against Mike Pence from Timothy Holmseth, Able Danger, and subscribers. DNAJLion's World of Fantasy. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead and has been replaced with an actor out of his own mouth. And people actually watch it and believe it. Why? Because they're the same type of criminals. They're the same type of moralist, backboneless people as these YouTubers. And we already know there's a lot of people like this in the world, right? So here we go. RBG Body Double and Pence Pedophile Unplugged. Literally the name of his video on YouTube, where he is taking money from people to say these things. Let's take a look at the comments section. Remember, Fox put up a RIP RBG message back in January. I think there's a reason Trump sent Pence to Poland while he is at Camp David. What do you think? RGB sounded younger and more lively. It totally wasn't her. Obviously, somebody does not want your information to go out. Too much truth? Question mark. Thought they said she was on death's door and having chemo. Now she's 20 years younger and holding rallies. A sick woman. Please, there is mega BS going on here. My point is, this political propaganda is being reinforced by a group of people, and they are funding it. All of them have the same narrative being pushed behind it, and it's all easily debunkable. easily provably false. Is it any coincidence DNAJLION was on Lift the Veil and several channels like that when he first started with under 1,000 subs and now has 80,000 after signing the contract with Abel Danger, whatever his name is, the other guy? You know, the entity behind them, where they all get their lawyer from, where they all get their push from, their shares from, all requires them to push the same narratives, the same unfolding LARPing narrative. You got me? So that they can affect it onto the audience and create a echo chamber, a bubble, a pocket, right? So take a listen to this shit.
A platform to speak out on. I protect the innocent children by virtue.
Every video, he starts it with, he protects the innocent children. He is legally not allowed to even see his own children. I wouldn't bring it up if it wasn't for him stating that he protects the innocent children every video. My point is, how can people not wake up to the fact that he's lying? If he can't be there for his kids, and all this money that he gets, he doesn't give a dime to his children. You got me? He doesn't take care of them. Basically leaves them to whatever happens in life to these 7 kids that he has, 6 kids, or I don't know, and his 8 wives that he is not allowed to physically be within X amount of distance from. All of them have legal permanent restraining orders against the guy, just like Timothy Holmseth. You got me? If he's willing to lie to you and say that he's defending the innocent children, is he saying that so that you're inclined to donate and subscribe and listen to him, or does he mean it? Well, you would think that the moral character behind saying this, would cause him to at least have to take care of his own kids before he could get on YouTube and say he's taking care of other kids. You get me? But these types of things aren't questioned by his audience. Why is that? Let's go into that for a minute. Because really, the people below him in the comments, the people that watch him and share this and give him a platform and send him money, which he just sent people to a GoFundMe page and got the guy thousands of dollars this week. So the money is there. Why do they do it? If it's so easy to find out that they're just supporting a criminal who doesn't even pay for his own kids, why do they do it? Well, a lot of the people are older. They're not, good with the internet. And they have gotten angry with the mainstream media lately. So just imagine they're retired or they're getting older or they don't really know much about technology and they're used to just turning on the television and they get a cell phone or they get a bit of an internet hiccup here. One way or another, they get exposed to this type of propaganda through Facebook, okay? And a little bit of an internet hiccup. It's writing out now. So my point is, as those people who aren't really, who have just been watching the news their entire lives but don't trust it anymore because of the flagrant propaganda that's been pushed in the news lately, when they do get exposed to Facebook and they get filtered over to YouTube, they don't have that defense in their head. It's like when all of us first clicked on YouTube. I remember I used to like watching Secure Team 10 when I first started on YouTube until I realized he was lying to me. He built his videos from the ground up. And I know it's a different type of content, but that's exactly what this guy's doing. It's not true that Pence, he doesn't have evidence to say what he's saying. And he obviously doesn't have a moral fiber to try to go innocent until proven guilty with any of the things that he's told to say. But do the people watching know this? No, they just go straight into YouTube. They're new to the whole thing. They are, almost like the same kind of people that get a call from a telemarketer and end up sending $5, $10, or $15 to the charity they say they represent from a random phone call. These are the same kind of people that make telemarketing so lucrative. The same people are being filtered to these YouTubers through pretty sophisticated but simple. It's sophisticated in the way it's set up to make it simple for them to be able to move from Facebook over to these networks. And things like the Epoch Times, which is a news organization on Facebook and the internet that has millions and millions of followers and makes billions of dollars a year, helps funnel people to this type of content. As they watch this, they are less likely to vote for Pence. Well, in reality, why would you want to gain a base? And I'm not political in this, but I will give you my initial thinking on this, and you could change my mind just by talking with me, because I don't know a lot about politics. But I could just logically say to myself, if you gained a base of Trump supporters, a whole bunch of them, like maybe 100,000 of them, like this guy and Lift the Veil and all the other people involved, you gain a base of Trump supporters, but you really aren't for Trump. Well, what's one way? Do you just go out and attack Trump? Do you turn people against Trump? No, because they're going to be more loyal to Trump than they are to you. They'll just find somebody else to watch on YouTube. But if you slowly convince them that the vice president is murdering babies, eating babies, all the things that he said about the vice president, what are you going to do when 2020 comes and you notice that the president still has Pence as his running mate, as his vice president? Are you likely to vote for him? You might question voting for him. So you could see one of the types of narratives these guys could be trying to push with this. Because a lot of people know this guy wasn't political before he started into these conspiracy theories. He just did it because it helped get him views and subs. Same thing with the other YouTubers that are involved. They just slowly wormed their way into politics, right? So anyway, let's hear some more of his crazy claims, because he makes a lot of them as he goes on in this, and then we'll get out of here. Because I'm only going to do this on this new channel every once in a while, just to have some videos out there so that when people search for these guys, maybe, hopefully, they'll be inclined to click on a video exposing them.
The YT channel, YouTube channel, Library of Congress, I watched most of it. If you watch it, pay particular attention when they zoom out and show Ruth Bader Ginsburg's legs. They look way too long to be someone of her supposed height.
Something as stupid as this, but all it needs to be is effective. It just has to plant those seeds of doubt, and that's exactly what he's doing.
By lobbyists, and so he can bust up all the satanic pedophilia going on across the political spectrum.
This is what he's saying about President Trump.
Whether it's liberal or conservative, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. So let's get into Mike Pence. And again, I said yesterday that because I had heard from Mark Taylor's friend who is starting these home congregations and helping others to plant home congregations, he was really concerned. He's like, Daniel, why are you saying all this negative stuff about Mike Pence? I thought he's this patriotic Christian.
Do you really think that this guy cares about Christianity, the Bible, those things? I don't.
Pardon my Marine talk. Listen, you motherfuckers, we're not part.
So he says, pardon my Marine talk, and only uses the word motherfuckers. Hey, I know that you are disabled now, Disabled Danger, but it's not just Marine talk to curse. That's not how it works.
Of the British Crown anymore. That ended when Trump went over and told the Queen what the New Deal is. The New Deal is we are Americans, and we, from this point forward, are going to be telling our government what to do for us.
See, it's not a good idea that this guy is going to be telling our government what to do for us, and gladly he won't be. The president is not listening to him, as he claims, and people upstairs know that this man, whatever he was in the past, if he is a veteran, I respect him for that. I'm a veteran myself, but I'm not going to respect the things coming out of his mouth now. Is it because he's got Alzheimer's? Is it because he's disabled? I don't know. That's the thing going around. Able Danger, who used to be somewhat sane, is now Disabled Danger because of the crazy things coming out of his mouth. Don't take it as a dig towards disabled people. I'm actually fully disabled through the United States Army myself for injuries that I sustained in the line of duty. But maybe he is too. Either way, he's not able to really give commentary anymore, and I don't trust him as far as I could throw the guy. And I can't because I got a bad hip now and a bad right arm. But I don't trust him anymore. I never really did. I didn't really know who he was. I just say that people always say he's a this and he was in here and there. Think that you're supporting DNAJLION and these other people and working with them, and the fact that you're supporting Field McConnell, you aren't for America anymore. You need to rethink it, right? Maybe you were in the past. Maybe you were these things that you say you are, that people said you are, but you're not now. It is apparently too apparently obvious, you're not those things now. You're the opposite of. So he supports Timothy Holmseth, as you can see. He just doesn't make sense anymore. He can't form coherent thoughts or sentences. I don't even know if he used to be able to. And basically, just so you know, this is the thing that they're doing to lead up to the new shitty, stupid, what I call LARP that they're pushing. Although, after the red pill shot came down and literally got them all to admit that they are political, that they're not just YouTubers, they're political operatives, no one really trusts them other than some really crazed, insane percentage of viewers. So in the end, I don't think they're going to be that effective. I don't think it's going to work. If you look at Holmseth's court appearance, you had YouTubers with totals of hundreds of thousands of followers directing their audience to show up and support the guy, and barely anybody showed up. They didn't get a big, massive turnout, and already Holmseth had a quarter of the courtroom packed with friends and family. And then try to think about the fact of how many other people were there. They really barely got anyone to show. They're going to die off. I'm happy about that. Their content will keep dying up. The only problem is we have an election coming up, and they are going to try to get in the heads of people. So every once in a while, I'm going to jump over to this new channel. I'm going to debunk them. I'm going to show you the truth about them, and we'll challenge them to actually sit up on their channel, and instead of spewing out this garbage, maybe they could tell us how they really feel and prove it about the things they talk about, like gun rights, like abortion, like, you know, the rights of others. Maybe they all could do one thing. Maybe they'll all want to challenge me after this. How about they go into each of them their own spiel, you know, without any type of script in front of them. Why don't they go into their own spiel about innocent until proven guilty and how they don't follow it in any of their accusations? Because before we could believe that they really are the things they say they are, they would have to explain that. One more time, DNAJLION, violent criminal. All you got to do is type his name into YouTube to find it out. Are you going to keep sending him money and enabling him? Well, if you are, it's on you. Field McConnell and Able Danger, anti-American socialist liars. If you don't believe me, just listen to the way they talk about other people here in the United States. They don't have one consideration for their rights. Timothy Holmseth, do I really need to say anything about the guy? He's on the run from the law. He's telling you that, everybody in the world is a pedophile other than him, when really the only real evidence out there on Timothy Holmseth is that he has accusations himself. So what are his accusations? I'm not saying that he's guilty of this, and I'm not going to say he's guilty until he's proven it, but I'll tell you what people are saying. On his website, his blog, he put up disgusting pictures of naked children and shared links to disgusting pictures of naked abused children, saying that he needed people to help him file reports on this to the FBI and to the government to get it taken down. You don't need big groups of people to file on that kind of content, Holmseth. You literally can just turn it into law enforcement yourself and they'll take it down. So he did get that charge. The other charge is those same kind of pictures, he purposely uploaded them to his website, and by Able Danger, Field McConnell, the other people out there like DNAJLION and Tracy Remington pushing people towards his blog, telling people to go read his blog. They then eventually clicked and exposed themselves to these news stories that he put up that have these horrible pictures of these kids like Kaylee Anthony and the others that had these crimes done to them right in their face without warning, without any type of preface to it. And he is not only accused of that, but there is evidence of that out there, that he did that in reactions from people posted to the internet. Entire blogs have been made by God knows who to expose Timothy Holmseth. The problem, Timothy Holmseth's webpage across the entire thing has not one bit of actual evidence or sourcing attached to it. The blogs that expose him are all sourced to his criminal past, the things that he's doing currently with evidence. So I'm sorry, I have to be able to believe the facts that are there. And the only thing sourced are the blogs exposing him. Do me a solid, share this video. Anytime somebody wants to talk about DNAJLION, Holmseth, Tracy Remington, Disabled Danger, or the other guy, Field McConnell, share this video, tag this video to him, or tag one of the websites that expose these people to him. This needs to be put out. The people that follow these guys need to know. And right now, they are using these disgusting propaganda techniques to try to gain the money of followers who really should be donating it to someone who is what they say they are.